you guys thought you could get rid of me? I'm back.
This will be my first sailing yacht. How hard can it be?
None of these other chicks are gonna go for you because you're 20 years younger than them.
Oh,
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Married to Reality. It's the Below Deck Sailing Yacht Edition. I'm your co-host, John, here with my wife and co-captain. It's the one and only Teresa.
Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing?
Feel like we need to pour one out for old Tom.
Yeah.
Over there.
I was just listening to the intro and Tom is saying, this is going to be my first time sailing.
How hard can it be?
Yeah.
A toast to Tom.
All right, let's do it.
A toast to Tom. We're going to miss you, Tom.
We are, but selfishly, I'm excited for a new person.
Shellfishly?
Selfishly.
Hold on, wait for the puns till we get to the boat names, Teresa.
Okay.
Shellfishly.
I always say shellfish to you.
Yeah,
Even
I don't know.
before we
I don't know if
started
you're
watching.
being funny or if that's just your lack of.
It's from SpongeBob SquarePants.
He says shellfish.
Maybe I do. It's from something.
It's something we do, but I don't know how it began.
Maybe it's not from SpongeBob. Maybe shell phone is from SpongeBob. I saw a meme.
That makes sense. That's hilarious. Yeah, SpongeBob.
Shell phone.
SpongeBob is
Guys,
a shell phone.
unless you didn't know, I'm a big SpongeBob SquarePants fan.
That's how you learned English.
That's how I learned English, and I'm not even joking.
So blame Bob, okay, for all of her butchering of the
it's
English
so
language.
dumb that it's good.
SpongeBob?
That's
Never
all I'm
watched
going to
it.
say about SpongeBob.
Never watched it.
It's a sponge.
No, I know what it
Lives
is.
in a pineapple under the water.
Yeah, I haven't been living under a rock. I know what SpongeBob is. Just, when it came out, I was probably 20 years old.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, boy.
That's the theme song.
Oh, boy.
His best friend is Patrick Star.
Okay. Is this a SpongeBob recap podcast? Or are we talking about Below Deck?
It's under the sea.
It's kind of related.
It is.
Under the sea. Take it from me. You don't know that song?
Is it from The Little Mermaid?
Yeah.
The Disney version.
What's the other version?
There is a Czech version that's played by real people.
Oh, yeah. Like a live action.
Yeah,
theater?
but it's very low budget.
Under the sea. Yeah. Down where it's wetter. Take it from me. Yeah. That could have been the song sung at the talent show.
That's the only Disney movie I like. Besides like Winnie the Pooh.
Take a bet.
From like the old school ones.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say Johnny Tsunami. It's a fantastic.
I don't know that.
Oh, he's a snowboarder. That was like Disney TV movies.
Yeah. Oh, no. I meant like
Motocrossed.
one of those like classic when we were growing up. That it was a TV show, but it was also a movie. And it was like Winnie the Pooh. It was Little Mermaid. Mm-hmm. It was a few more.
Yeah. Aladdin.
Yeah, like so those classics.
Yeah. There was that old saying, and I don't know if it's true or not, but on the Little Mermaid cover, the artist drew in like penises in the background. Apparently there was like a dirty old man that worked at Disney because the old wives' tale, I don't even know if it's a wives' tale, like an urban legend, is that there used to always be phallic symbols or dirty penises drawn into Disney covers.
What?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll look
I
it up.
did not know that.
We'll look it up.
But I do find Mickey Mouse dirty.
Really?
I mean, it's a mouse.
Well, so you mean like dirty, like mice is
Just like
mice are
wearing
dirty.
pants but no shirt.
What a filthy.
What's up with that?
I mean, most mice are filthy.
Yeah, I've never been a fan of Mickey Mouse. Ever.
Yeah.
I mean, Winnie the Pooh, he's only wearing the top. But
Hello.
it doesn't bother me. He's cute.
Yeah. All right. Anyways, we digress hard. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. This is the Below Deck Sailing Yacht Edition. Correct?
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Guys, follow us on social media. We got to ask every time, but we want you there. We have a good time over there on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. It's where it all goes down. Mm-hmm. Memes, messages. What's another M?
Memories.
Wow. Memes, messages, and memories. Absolutely. So join us at Married to Reality Pod on Instagram for all of the above. Also, make sure you're following the podcast wherever you're listening. It's so easy to do. Look down, smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hot as Tom departing the boat because we're going to get someone new.
It's sad. That's not hot. I hate to critique.
kinda
I hate
hot.
to critique yours.
It's kind of hard because I was a little over Tom.
I just feel like you had. We're not going to get into it, but we'll talk off mic. But there's
No, we're not.
There's a lot of hot things this episode, especially from a female perspective.
Okay, so let me take it back, right?
Yeah. Think about the talent show. Colin played the guitar. A lot of females find that hot. Gary stripped. Almost every girl on the boat finds that hot.
All right, let me do it again. Smash it like it's as hot as Ken, dressed up as a matador.
There we go. Now we're talking. Okay? you lost me again for a second, but
You're so difficult. Sometimes
got
I
your
just
back.
want to go the unexpected way.
I know, but
If I went, smash it like it's as hot as Gary doing striptease, then it's like, classic. Like Teresa, you didn't even put any thoughts into that. Am I right?
You can't
Am I right?
But you can't just attach hot to anything. That's my point. It was my point last time. It's still my point. We'll talk about it off mic.
It's a
because
hot idea.
I don't want to bore. No, it's not a hot idea. How is that hot? How is somebody
there's gonna be a
being
new
fired? How is somebody being
person.
fired? So then wait for the new person to come and go, smash it as hot as whoever the new guy is. Right?
Okay,
You're rushing it.
you go too deep on
No,
this.
I'm trying
Float on the surface.
to. No, I just I don't want it to lose its
Float
meaning.
on the surface.
It's one of my favorite things we do. I don't want it to lose its meaning.
It's not going to lose its meaning.
A lot of people came to your defense last time I gave you this spiel, so I'm sure people are pissed that I'm bringing it up again. But
All right, can I be absolutely honest with you guys and you?
yeah,
I forgot to do my smash it like it's
Okay,
hot because
so
I was
stop. Okay.
I was focusing on the boat
all
name.
right. So just be honest with our friends. I'd rather you be honest than throw out some shitty ass smash it like it's hot.
I'm honest, but I fixed it on the spot.
There were so many hot moments.
Mic drop.
Okay.
I just fixed
So
it.
I'll just you dropped your mic. Let me carry the pod. All right. So you smashed it like it's as hot as
Ken,
the Matador. Yes.
The Matador.
Absolutely.
AKA
Very hot.
the bullfighter.
Red hot, right? You're wearing red. It makes so much sense. I love it. Okay. Smash it like it's as hot as the Matador. Also, if you haven't left a review, please do. We love when you leave reviews. So if you could take a few seconds to rate, review the podcast, it means the world. So thank you in advance for that. Nothing to say about that?
I mean, you said you're going to carry the mic since I
Oh,
dropped
my
mine.
God. How dare you? How dare you?
JK.
All right. JK Rowling. Shout out to
You
Harry
just
Potter.
got a taste of your own medicine. When I left you in silence.
Gosh, you left me hanging. Wow.
Guys, you should have seen the face. He
That
looked
was-
at me like, you're going to say something?
Say something. I'm giving up on this podcast.
Never.
Never.
Take it
But
back.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt when you did that. I thought
it
you were
back.
giving up. Oh, I'm not giving up. I thought you kind of gave up for a second.
I'm not. I was just giving you a taste.
All right, here we go.
Taste
Here's
of your own medicine.
All right, it's my absolute favorite moment of this podcast. It is Boat Name the segment.
Yes.
As we always do every episode, we want to name the boat in accordance to the episode because not every episode is worthy of a Parsifal 3. Not everyone can say Parsifal 3.
Yeah, just say parcel.
Yeah, which is incorrect. But what we do on this podcast, we watch the episode and we rename the boat in accordance with the story of the week. Teresa, take it away. Hit us with your boat name. She's got a big smile on her face. She's borderline laughing. She's very proud of herself, I can tell.
Well, it took me a while. Not a while.
What, did you forget to do this too?
No, I didn't. I first came up with a boat name I didn't love, right? But then I
Doesn't
took
seem
a
to stop you with the
shower.
smash it like it's hot.
I took a shower
Now
and
that's
I
hot.
came up with it.
Okay.
Well, I always get my smash like it's hot. Come on.
What do you mean?
You like throwing me under the bus over here.
But you said you always get your smash it like it's hot?
Yeah, always prepare.
You said you forgot today.
Well, today.
Yeah.
Today.
Okay. All right, here we go.
All right.
Boat
you
name
ready?
the segment. Teresa, take it away.
All right. Baby, bye, bye, bye.
Oh.
Backstreet Boys song because Tom was leaving.
Okay. All right. Well, I love it. And because I'm taking it to another level. Now,
Oh.
tell me if you took it to this level.
Okay.
How would you write that name? She didn't drop the mic. She's just thinking.
I don't know.
How do you have it written?
Baby, bye, bye, bye.
Okay, but how do you have it written? Like letters?
B-A-B-Y.
Okay, see, you blew it. But this is why we're a fantastic team. This is why we're the dream
Oh,
team.
bay? Like,
Oh, like the bay. Like the ocean in the bay.
Oh, that's a good one.
B-A-Y-B. Mm-hmm. Bye, bye, bye.
Love it.
Love it. Cool.
Love it.
All right. Baby, bye, bye, bye. Coming in.
Worth
from
it, am
Teresa.
I right? Worth it.
Loved it. Loved it. Okay, I have a few.
Oh, come on.
No, I didn't try to come up with a lot, but I wrote one down, and then the episode kept going, and I wrote another, and then the episode kept going.
All right,
and I
so
wrote
share your best.
No, I want to share them all.
Come on, this is not how we play.
I want to share them all.
I can. So then I'm gonna share my shitty one.
Share your shit. Let me share one, and then you share
Okay.
one. Okay. Ticking Tom Bomb to go with the bye 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 because he was a ticking time bomb, but he's
Ticking
gone.
Tom Bomb.
He was a ticking Tom Bomb.
It's pretty good, but I don't think I would want to be on a boat that's,
True. Okay.
that's named like that.
Let me give you my other. Filthy Rich. Because these charter guests, I assume, are rich, but they're also just nasty. They're a very filthy bunch.
Are they?
Oh, they're talking about the shocker. They're talking about getting topless on the boat.
I mean, who doesn't?
Well, we're filthy also, but they're filthy. They're filthy rich. Hit me with your second name.
Okay. It's really bad. But I was trying to play around with the matador kind of theme, right? So matador also means a bullfighter, but
Oh, what's the other meaning?
it's the same thing.
Right.
Bullfighter.
Right.
you
It doesn't
fight the
also
bulls.
mean. It doesn't also
Yeah.
mean. It does mean.
It means.
Okay, gotcha.
A bullfighter. And then I thought of a bullfighter, a water buffalo, a water bullfighter. But then I Googled, no, I'm not done. I Googled it, and a water bull is a Scottish, mysterious animal.
Okay, I take back everything I ever said about your Smash It Like It's Hot. It's not having enough thought because you've done research into this boat name. So wow, you've just shocked me and impressed me
And
once
it's
again.
a creature that doesn't exist. It's mythical.
A water bull?
Yeah, a water bull.
Okay.
So I didn't entirely made it up.
Wait, so is that the name? Water bull?
A water bull fighter.
Oh, wasn't that an Adam Sandler movie, The Water Bull?
I don't know.
Water bull fighter? Buffalo soldier? Wow. No, I like baby bye bye bye.
You don't like my water bull fighter?
It's a good start. I'm glad you ended up where you ended up. My last name, Parsifal's Got Talent. And with that, let's go into the episode.
Let's do it.
Episode 7. All right. We're starting off with Tom and Gary talking about the little fuck up.
Yeah.
that
25
Tom
minutes until new charter guests.
Oh, sorry. I forgot the timestamp. Yeah.
I think sometimes it's important because
Sometimes it is.
you can look how some people are cleaning, preparing, and others, like Tom,
Oh, boy.
who should be busting his ass, is sitting with Gary and complaining.
Speaking, and we'll get to Tom and Gary, but those timestamps. Did you notice later in the episode around dinner service, it said like 9:20. It was the time of dinner. And then underneath it said 20 minutes late. They were calling out.
Yeah.
They were calling out that dinner service was late. So yeah,
That was this whole thing. So.
Right. Well, it is important. I agree with you. It is important to pay attention to those timestamps sometimes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so Tom and Gary, they're talking, and Gary is shook by Tom's actions and what happened. He said he had trouble kind of sleeping.
Yeah, it was a major fuck up.
Major fuck up. He's not taking it lightly. Gary's not taking it lightly. He knows Glenn's not going to take it lightly and thinks Tom needs to talk to Glenn about everything.
Tom just keeps making excuses, which that bothers me. Instead of him owning up to it, be like, you know what, like, yes, I should have go downstairs and I should have grabbed you guys, or I should have done something. He's like, well, but you know, I've never done this before.
Yeah.
No one asked you to do anything. No one asked you to maneuver the boat. No one asked you to literally do anything but go and wake up the captain and Gary.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I think I said it on the last podcast. I get maybe you're scared. You think you did something wrong and you don't want to get in trouble, but you didn't. You didn't do anything wrong that put you in the position you were in where you were dragging anchor. What you did wrong was not telling anyone that you were dragging anchor. So I get like sometimes you break something and you're scared to tell someone, oh, I don't want to tell, I'll get in trouble. Well, it was fine. It was fine that you were in that situation. You just needed to tell someone you were in that situation and everything would have been good.
Yeah.
But he didn't. Now we're in this predicament. We'll see what comes of it. We know what comes of it. We'll talk about it in a second. But before that, Glenn calls an all crew because the new charter guests are arriving.
Jim, the primary,
Okay.
and his girlfriend,
All right.
and the rest of his friends.
Yeah, I didn't get all their names. There was a Veronica. There was a Ken.
There was
Jim.
Ken, yes.
Yeah. You can already tell they're a rowdier crew than the last. They're no Erica and Chuck, but they are a bit rowdier.
I thought they were fun.
They were fun.
Fun and nice.
I use rowdy in a playful way, in a fun way. Yeah, but they got on the boat and one of the guests was like, "I'd like to welcome you to Menorca," and Glenn was like, "Whoa, that's my line." So you could.
They're fun. They're a fun group.
Yeah. And that's when they started talking about like topless tanning only, and one of them talked about Jim's vibrator.
I mean, I hate to say this, but it's Europe. I used to topless tan.
Oh boy.
When I had no boobs.
Oh boy. Yeah, we've talked enough about your family and nude beaches. I think to last a couple
too,
podcasts.
but my mom didn't make me wear my top piece until I was like 10.
Okay, I think that's fair. In America, young girls don't.
What are you
wear.
talking about? When I was an au pair, I had to take the baby to the swim class, and she was wearing a full-ass bathing suit to cover her boobs because she was 1.5.
No, I think that's proper. You start them young, get them accustomed to wearing a cover up, a top. But if you were on the beach and you had a 2-year-old girl not wearing a shirt, I don't think anyone would care. That's
True.
what I'm saying. So, okay, Daisy's given the guests a tour and goes over the itinerary a bit. We're going to have a seafood palooza and the crew talent show, which Daisy tells the camera, my only talent is getting tan and drinking margaritas.
My talent is the second one. I cannot get tan. I always get burned.
Which is, that's why I think it actually is a talent that Daisy can tan, because she's Irish, isn't she?
Yeah, she is.
And I don't know many Irish that can tan. They usually go straight to burning.
Yeah, so do I.
Like my European wife over here.
I feel like once I get through the burn, I can get a nice color.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna be I'm never gonna tan dark, but I can tan once I get through. Once I burn myself, it heals. I'm in pain. I have a bunch of headaches.
You start blistering and peeling.
Yeah. Well, if I keep tanning, I'll get there.
Okay. Yeah. Don't give up. Don't be a quitter. Okay.
Also, I'm old now, and all I see is cancer.
Yeah, no,
cancer.
I'm kidding. Be safe, guys. Lather up, SPF.
Yeah.
All day.
But I do want to get a little tan, especially this year. Last year, John was John was laughing at me. We went out and it was really hot, so I was wearing black shorts and a black shirt, classic. And John is like, I can see your veins. You're so transparent.
You're see-through.
You're so see-through. So I don't want to end up like this year.
But do it smart. A couple minutes at a time, wearing the SPF.
Yeah, for sure.
We don't want to burn. We know how you get. Okay, so then Colin talks to Tom about Ashley. And Tom says Ashley likes to be the victim. And he's kind of giving Ashley shit, but says, I've been inside her, so fuck it.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah. And then while they're talking, they're doing their gossip. Glenn usually likes to eavesdrop on the gossip a little bit. He's become a fan of eavesdropping and getting the juicy stories, but he's not having it here. He asks Tom, can you go take a look at the window's port side? I need you to go do your job. Stop talking about your conquests and everyone who you've laid and get to work. And Tom kind of dismisses Glenn. And Glenn's like, oh, so you've handled it already? You've taken care of it? And Tom hasn't. So he's like, okay, okay. And he goes and does it. But yeah, Tom, you're on such thin ice.
Such thin ice.
And here you are just talking about, yeah, I banged Ashley, fuck her, whatever. And Glenn's like, hey, can you do your job? And Tom's face like, yeah, Glenn, like, I'll get to it. We're having man talk right now.
Yeah, and Glenn is really paying attention to him, and he's doing nothing. So then we see like a next scene when Daisy came and joined them, talking about Colin getting drunk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Tom is just like sitting there and listening. And I'm like, why aren't you doing something else?
Right.
Did you finish everything?
Yeah, and here's what I'll say. Because, spoiler alert, Tom gets fired mid-episode, mid-charter, mid-season. And I was kind of confused, why would Glenn not just fire Tom before these guests even got on, right? He could have, the whole incident happened, then those guests got off the boat. There was a time period before the new guests came on. You could have let Tom go in the interim before guests boarded.
Yes and no. I think Glenn was processing what happened, and he thought to himself, all right, let's see if he takes it seriously.
Yes.
Let's see if he regrets what's, not even regrets, if he acknowledges what he did, and if he's going to bust his ass, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't. Tim's hanging there to the point that Glenn has to poke him, and he like points at something that Tom should be doing, right? That's bad.
Right. No, I think you're right. Glenn wanted to give Tom one last chance, which I respect. And Tom blew that.
Absolutely.
Over and over again, Tom blew it. He just sat on his ass and talked about girls instead of doing his job. And it's like, okay, so now not only have you fucked up and not owned it, but now you fucked up, not owned it, and aren't even trying to prove your worth.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, not the best look for Tom, and we know what comes of that. So then it's time to prepare for dinner, and we have Gabriela and Ashley. They're setting up the table, and Ashley, it's her word of the day that she keeps saying, horny, right? She's talking about her horny problems, which is her word of the day every day, begins with an H, ends with a Y, horny.
I don't know if I got this right, but you tell me. Did Gabriela actually say something nice about Ashley's setup?
I think she said it looked good.
She's like, oh, this looks nice.
Yeah.
And 2 seconds later, she's like, every fork is a different size.
Oh, see, I missed that part.
I'm like, all right, you guys almost bonded.
I heard the comment on just the overall table setting, and I thought, yeah, it's okay. It looks like it always does. It looked like your standard table setting, but I didn't hear the fork comment. So that's kind of funny.
Well, while they're doing all this, Gary comes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Ashley's like, so now you've kissed all of us.
Yep.
And he's like, well, not Kelsie. And you can see how frustrated Ashley is with the fact that Gary kissed Gabriela. And she actually says it. She's like, this whole Gabrielle-Gary situation is just frustrating. I don't usually lose Gabriela, so good luck.
Yeah. And she says something that I find a little startling. She goes, I could have fucked Gary already. And I don't think that's true.
No, because Ashley, if he wanted to, he would have.
You threw yourself at him. And
so much.
You threw yourself at him, and he denied you to a certain extent. You guys kissed, but you didn't have sex. And so she's just full of herself and thinks she deserves to be second stew when she doesn't deserve to be second stew. She thinks she can fuck Gary when she can't. She's just full of herself. She's got an ego.
Oh, yeah.
And she's next in line now after Tom to be that person who's like, just be quiet and do your job.
Yeah, I do not like her attitude at all.
Yeah, it's definitely not good. And we'll see if she lasts, because she does her job, but she does a lot of other shit in between her job.
Yeah, I feel like as long as she does her job, they wouldn't fire her. Yeah. Like what Tom did, it's not like, oh, shit, he forgot to polish the front of the boat. He almost cost all of them their jobs.
And on top of that, forgot to polish the front of the boat.
Yeah. So I feel like if it was something small, like, Tom, I told you to polish the front of the boat. He didn't do it. This is a warning, but moving on, right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't have fired him.
Not
They
in the
fired
first
him.
offense.
They fired him because he did something real bad and he didn't acknowledge it. He
Right.
didn't try to fix it.
Right.
So
then we see Glenn calling for another deckhand. This is the writing on the wall that Tom's time is done. He's worried Tom is just another fuck up waiting to happen. And again, he doesn't like that Tom's not owning the mess up, not owning and realizing what he did. So
classic Tom.
he wants a new deckhand and I guess a new roommate. I guess in turn Glenn would be getting a
That's
new
right.
roomie.
That's right.
Unless it's a female.
It must be a male, unless
think- I
because there
think-
is no space for a female. Where is she gonna go instead of Gary? Instead of Marcos?
Yeah.
What do you wanna get everyone pregnant on the boat?
Oh boy. Yeah, I think it's gonna be.
It must be a male.
It's gonna be a
Otherwise,
guy.
there is no space for a female.
Yeah. So we'll see. Glenn's going to get a new roommate, I guess. So time for dinner. And this is where we see Ken dressed like the matador.
Yeah.
Somebody said it was Spanish night. All right. Glad. Do you bring that everywhere? Like, what other costumes did you pack, Ken?
I love it.
Yeah.
Just bring some culture into
Yeah,
this.
I wish a bull impaled him, but that didn't happen. So then Marcos brings out his food. We got a traditional octopus with spicy aioli. And I don't know if it's an aphrodisiac or not. I know some seafood is, but the guests were immediately like, can we do a throuple with Marcos? They wanted
'Cause
Marcos.
He was. I appreciated the guests, and everyone did until minus the roses, acknowledge the fact that Marcos is so talented. And I haven't even tried his food.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it,
Yeah.
and that's satisfying enough. So
Yeah, it all looks amazing.
The fact that they say, "Oh, can we do a threesome with you?" or throuple because they want him to cook.
No, they want to bang. They're such a horned up. I'm telling you, they're filthy rich. They're dirty. They're nasty. They're horny.
Oh no, they want him to bang. I mean, they want him to cook.
They want to bang, Teresa. I'm pretty sure they might start.
I mean, maybe in between dinner
banging
and,
would be
and the lunch, but
the banging would be to the dessert, maybe. But I don't think you would say
Or-
throuple. I think you would say, can we hire him as a personal chef? They want him as part of the relationship.
yes, a personal chef.
Very personal. So then comes the lamb stew with mushroom, white wine, and vinegar.
That looks delicious.
And finally, the butternut squash dessert. Okay? And then we see Glenn have a little meeting with Kelsie and Gary because Kelsie's going to be on night watch. And Glenn, I guess, wants to set her up for success, doesn't want her to become the next Tom. So they have a little talk and basically says, wake us up. If anything happens, just wake us up. That's all we need from you.
And he's nervous because of what happened with Tom, but Kelsie is not an idiot.
No, I mean, she proved herself, but just watching the last several episodes, I wouldn't say she's a genius.
She's a duck.
Calm on the top, working really, you think so?
Yeah, every single time you look at her, she's doing something, or she was telling Tom that he wasn't doing something right. She was
Kelsey's always in
fixing
bed
things.
eating like almonds or her hair.
She's always doing something.
I mean,
She's
this
like
was-
the behind the scenes person who actually does the job and no one complains about her.
Yeah, a little bit of that. I will say this episode was really good for her. I think it shined a light on her and showed that she is a capable deckhand. So I'll give you that after seeing this episode. But before this episode, she was most known for flossing her teeth with her hair.
True, but also telling Tom what he's doing wrong. Telling him, oh, this is not how you clean it. This is not clean. You should do
Yeah.
something else. But Tom didn't listen to her
Yeah.
until Gary told him that this is wrong. You have to do it again.
Yeah. Well, everyone ends up going to bed, and we fast forward to like 4:10 a.m. in the morning, and there's a warning that the anchor is outside the safe zone. There are rocks inside the line of the anchor, and Kelsie notices this, wakes Gary up which is the right move. Even though it turns out nothing was wrong. Gary gets up, checks everything out. Nothing was wrong. She followed protocol. And so
Absolutely.
Gary's happy with that. And kind of surprised Gary didn't try to bang Kelsie while everyone else was asleep and the two of them were just up there.
I think
Perfect
he has
time.
to be drunk.
Oh, how dare you say that? Kelsie is a sweet
No.
lady, good-looking girl.
I think a sober Gary is like, I don't need any drama in my life. I'm here to work. Like,
Yeah.
have fun maybe. A drunk Gary is like, all right, let's get some action.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Well, we'll see. There's still time left. But the next morning, Marcos has prepared his feast. Frittatas with spinach, onion, and cheese. Brie Crete with raspberry and honey. Just
So good. I
Something,
love
I guess.
brie. I live for brie.
bacon, vegan bacon, and hash browns.
Did you catch this? So one of the guests and then others kind of followed. They woke up very early. And so Kelsie was the one kind of bringing them coffees.
Oh, this was later, though.
Was it?
Yeah, that was the next.
Oh, okay.
That was the
okay.
second morning.
I got the mornings mixed up.
Yeah, this was the morning that, I don't know if you saw this, Gary gave Gabriela a good morning kiss.
Oh, he did. I didn't
She was
see
like
that.
behind that bar area. He walked over, hugged her, and gave her a kiss. I'm like,
Oh.
that's not how I greet my coworkers. It seems like there's something a little.
I hope not.
Seems like there's something. Well, you, but it seems like there's something a little more to this relationship.
I
to
mean, let's see.
good morning kisses. You know that, and there's no alcohol involved there. If you want to say, oh, Gary only gets busy
True.
when he's drunk. There's no.
I hope that Gary hooks up with Daisy. I can see them
I
together.
mean, they already did. You hope they go the
Well, yeah,
distance.
yes, I can see them together.
Yeah. And I didn't realize maybe until this episode, but he's really into Daisy. Like Gary's, I think, very into Daisy more so than Ashley or Gabrielle. Like he is attracted to them and wants to hook up with them. I think he wants to be in a relationship with Daisy.
Possibly, yeah.
So, okay. Daisy starts talking to Colin and Gabrielle about what are we going to do for this talent show? And Gabrielle says, which we learned early on in this show, you can pretty much ask the crew for anything but sex. And, well, I've even been offered money for sex. So really anything goes here. So then Glenn gets a message that his agent found a deckhand that fits their needs and could be available after they quarantine. And Glenn says, great, send me the resume. Let's try to figure this out. And he says, I'd rather be a man down than risk that disaster happening again.
That's very true. And he adds that Tom has been distracted and defensive instead of the exact opposite, that he should be working his ass off and proving that that was a one-time thing, right?
Yeah, I didn't expect this to happen this soon.
I kind of expected it, but not the mid-charter.
Maybe after this charter,
Yes.
maybe give him one more. But yeah, mid-charter, didn't expect it. I think this is mid-season, which I'm down for. Like, let's rotate someone else in, spice things up. Because Tom, I think his storyline, I mean, how many episodes can we have him wanting Ashley not wanting him, this back and forth?
I mean, I think what Glenn did was smart because it brings me back to my whole point, and I don't want to start this discussion again, but when it comes to tipping, right? You go to a restaurant, you have to tip your waiter or waitress, absolutely. But you tip them based on their performance.
Right.
If someone's rude to you, if someone doesn't bring you what you ask, give you an attitude, you don't give them 20%. At least this is my opinion, because you give people what they deserve, right?
Sure.
If the waiter or waitress are great, they come, they ask, they have a positive attitude, I'm happy to give them even more than's expected, right? The same thing with this. He didn't do his job right. And when you don't do your job right, maybe you get a second chance. You didn't take the second chance. You got to learn your lesson. No one should be holding someone's hand, right?
Yeah.
We're all grown-ups. You need to understand if you did something wrong. If you don't understand, you have to face the consequences. So I'm totally behind what Glenn did. I think that was smart because Tom, as I said, didn't just forget to clean something on the deck. He almost crashed the boat.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And you raise a good point about tipping. He was fired mid-charter. Does he get half of the tip?
I doubt it.
Right? Because he worked for 1 day.
I mean, maybe, or I also think they get paid outside of the
Right,
tips.
he must get his pay
Yeah.
for the day, but he's not going to get...
What do
tip.
you tip him for? For sitting around and saying that he was inside of Ashley?
Yeah.
How much do you tip? Like 1%
He
for
gave
entertainment?
He gave the tip. So how much?
So yeah, I don't even feel bad for him, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. I think we need to take a quick break. When we come back, we will have the Glenn and Tom conversation, and then all that ensues after that. So we'll be back in a second. And we're back.
Ahoy.
Ahoy.
I almost said hello.
Yeah, that was very breathy.
I was going
That
to
was a
say
very breathy
hello,
ahoy.
and I said hello.
You could move a sailboat with that. Yeah.
25 knots.
Glenn and Tom, they are talking. Glenn calls for Tom. They sit down, and Glenn says, I thought about things, and I don't quite understand how you could let things happen the way they did. I don't understand how you didn't realize what was going on. I don't understand how you didn't let anyone know. And because of that, and Tom doesn't even let Glenn finish. Tom's like, no, I know. Like, okay, you don't even say it. Like, yep. But Glenn fires Tom.
And it's good. And if you think about this, for you guys who feel bad for Tom, think about Glenn. He has to do this, and having a conversation like this must be hard. I've never done it. I've never fired anyone, right? But it must be difficult to have a conversation with someone who is a nice person, but they fuck up, right?
Yeah.
So, A, that's hard. B, he's gonna be down a man, which on a yacht like this, it needs a lot to be taken care of, the guests and everything else. So he's putting that on himself and his crew. So don't feel bad for Tom. He's gonna find something else, right?
No, I don't think anyone feels bad for Tom.
There might be peeps.
Glenn made the executive decision, as he had to, as the captain, what's best for this boat. And he did it. And Tom took it on the chin. I respect the way he took it. He did say, I want to let you know I'm not myself. I'm going through some things and it's affected me. He just wanted to get that out there, which we knew, right? His second dad basically is sick in the hospital. And so that's weighing on him. There's
Yes,
the
but
Ashley
that could
drama.
make you depressed or maybe not very talkative, maybe something, but that wouldn't make you not do your job and all you could think of is banging, not banging Ashley. So
I disagree with you. I think people cope in different ways. And if the way he wants to get his mind off things is to infatuate and focus on this.
Okay, I
Right?
take that.
So
Okay.
I do think it affected him, but he took it. He took it, and I respect the way he took it. Called
I
his
do
mom.
too.
Called his mom. Filled her in. It was kind of sad because he basically had to tell his mom, "I'm too big of a risk to stay on this boat," which is it's sort of what he said, which is sad probably to hear your son say like, "Oh, I put other people's lives at risk."
But in the same time, maybe it's for the best because now he can go home. He can be there for his friend and the dad.
Yeah.
So overall, maybe it is for the best. He learned his lesson. And I'm sure if he ever gets another chance, which hopefully the captain's not watching below deck, hopefully he learned his lesson and he will never let anything like this happen again because, and I can speak from experience, sometimes when you learn the hard way, that's the way that sticks with you.
Yeah.
So
For sure. This was definitely a learning moment for him. He goes and says goodbye to everyone. Marcos says, I hope you learn from this. You have to learn from this.
did you hear Ashley? She goes like, he's a ticking time bomb. He needs to go.
Yeah, where do you think my name Ticking Tom Bomb came from? Or whatever my...
I know. I
boat
just
name
like
was.
kind of, you're right. What? That's a little rude.
She just wants him out
I mean,
of the
she's
way.
a ticking time bomb too, but yes, she wants him out
Those
of the way.
things on her chest are ticking time bombs. That's an Office reference. But Tom says goodbye to everyone and says goodbye to the guests. And the way he said goodbye to the guests, he was just like, got to go take care of some stuff back home, which is kind of true. He does have to go.
Yeah, but it's smart. Like imagine
Yeah,
that
you don't
you
wanna.
pay thousands of dollars and you're witnessing this whole thing that someone's getting fired. I think that would be inappropriate.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think the way he handled it was good.
That was great. So they start sailing, and Daisy is starting to get worried about this talent show. She's really thinking about this talent show and freaking about this talent show. And Gabriela goes, "You know, I was a professional dancer, right? I did samba and salsa." I think when she moved, I forget where she said she moved to, but she got hired, professional dancer, and like dance instructor. So she's good to go. She's got her talent. And Glenn, he's like, okay, well, then the rest of us, we should brainstorm some ideas.
Like maybe I can tell jokes.
I can eat the world's largest piece of matzah, or I could, or I could tell a joke. Yeah. Colin will play guitar, and the rest of the crew has to figure out what they're going to do. My question to you is going to be, if we had to put on a talent show, what would our talents be?
Together?
No, separate.
Really?
I mean, we could do one together.
Okay, so let's think about it. Do you want to do you want me to tell your talent and you want you?
No, I'll tell you what I would do
Okay.
for a talent show, and then you would. Mine's nothing crazy. I mean, I would probably play guitar. Right? I'd probably do what Colin did and play guitar. Mm-hmm. I think that would be a decent talent.
Yeah, you're good when you prepare ahead of time.
Yeah. What would you do?
I would either sing or I would tell jokes.
It's called a talent show, Teresa. Here's one of your talents.
When I was a kid, I used to read my dad's newspapers and they used to post a joke. And my dad worked at a newspaper. That's why I'm saying my dad's newspaper. And there was this section at the end that they wrote a joke that some people sent in, right? So I studied it every week. And then I was performing for everyone. Whoever came to visit my parents, we went to grandma, sometimes to my friends. But usually I try to keep the adult audience because I felt like they were vibing it.
Okay.
And I don't know if they were pretending or not.
I'm sure they were.
But people are like dying laughing. And
Do you remember any of the jokes?
I don't, I'll be honest.
Okay.
It's been a while, but
Were they like dirty jokes?
not really.
How old were you?
Like 6 and on.
How long did you do this for?
For a while.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you would tell jokes, I'd play guitar. And then if we had to do a co-talent, if we had to team up for a talent, we'd probably sing a duet, maybe.
Yeah, we would probably sing Jar of Hearts.
That's our go-to duet.
It's our go-to
karaoke song.
duet. I usually do it when I'm drunk and John just helps me.
Yeah. Okay. So then we see the guests, they want to do some water sports. So they're trying to set up the equipment themselves, just grabbing random things, trying to inflate things. It's kind of a mess. Gary jumps into action and he helps them out. And because they're down at deckhand, it's kind of everyone needs to pitch in. These are the first guests we've seen enjoy the water.
That's true. As you should.
Yeah, they're jumping in, they're kayaking, they're going to the caves. It looks great. That's what you
Yes.
do, right? You don't just sit on the boat and complain, Chuck. You get in a kayak and you explore a damn cave.
Oh, Chuck was an idiot.
Yeah, so that's what they did. It looked great. Then it's time to start dinner prep. It's going to be lobsters, clams, mussels, scallops. It's going to be a seafood palooza.
Jim even came to the kitchen just like, oh, I'm just curious to see.
Checking in on things. Yeah. And we hear, this is where Marcos is setting us up because this dinner is a little tricky. He says, you can't cook this meal in advance. So it's important we got to time everything out just right. And Marcos tells Gabriela, you got to send everything out at the same time. So timing is very important with these seafood dishes. And Gabrielle's like, okay. Comes back in a few minutes later and goes, all right, ready when you are. And Marcos is like, wait, what? No heads up? No real timeline here with the food, with the prep? So kind of put Marcos in a bad position here.
But at the same time, I didn't fully understand what Marcos was saying. He said everything has to be timed, but they do this every night since they started.
I think seafood's different.
Well,
I think the
no, I
seafood's
get
different.
it. But what else? How could she handle this differently? She came and said they're ready.
Right. So you should have given him a heads up so he could prepare the food, because he said you can't prepare it in advance. You have to prepare it like when it's time for them to eat.
Yes, but if dinner is at 9 as they requested,
Yeah.
you should just go by that time.
Okay, that's a fair point. I think everything's always kind of in flux, so you don't want to cook it too early. As he said, you can't cook it in advance if they're not ready for it at 9. So there needs to be some communication. And all Gabriela did was come down and go, all right, they're ready to eat. And he's like, whoa, I didn't prepare it because I told you I can't prepare it in advance.
Yeah, I think there was a miscommunications. I think it was both of their faults. I think what should have been done, right? Marcos should have told Daisy, and she should have talked to the guest saying, this meal is very time sensitive. Will you guys be ready by 9 so we can really start putting it all together? Do you need more time? What's the plan?
Right.
And I'm sure if the guests were told like the amazing meal is coming at 9 and it's gonna be perfect, but it has to come at a certain time, I'm sure they would be ready.
Yeah, it's all about communication. You go to a restaurant and you order a paella. A lot of times there is a little subheader underneath that says this meal takes 30 minutes to cook.
Yeah.
Like, they give you a warning. Okay, this might not just come out whenever you want it to come out willy-nilly. It's like, no, this thing takes time. There's a sequence of events here.
I love a good paella.
Yeah, so it all comes down to communication here. And while they're waiting for the food to come out, they have this debate. The guests are having this debate. The charter guests are having this debate. What is the male version of Karen?
They're like, Kevin?
Is it Kevin? Which is it's close, right? In syllables and sound.
If we ever get a dog, I'm going to name the dog Kevin.
Okay.
I think it's hilarious.
Okay. Another person's like, Chad? Maybe it's Chad?
I think it's either... Okay, I'm going to say this and it's based off of a character.
Okay.
But I'm going to say it's Michael.
No, you're basing it off Michael Scott. Michael Scott's not a Karen.
He's not, but he's ridiculous.
Yeah, but Karens are ridiculous, but not ridiculously
Okay,
funny.
like ridiculous assholes. Okay.
Yeah. I would say I think Chad is
no.
close.
Bobby.
Maybe. Bobby sounds too young. Like, I guess if you're
Or old.
If you're 45, 50 and going by Bobby, yeah, there might be. Like Todd or Doug. Like Doug. Could be
You think
like,
so? Oh, I don't think Doug.
Oh, Doug. Like, oh, come on, Doug.
I think whoever puts Junior after their name is probably the male version of Karen.
Junior, yeah. Brett. Maybe Brent.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, there's a lot of questionable names out there.
My name is Bobby Junior.
Let's stop before we offend half of our listeners. Wait, that's my name. Yeah. So, okay, the dinner's finally ready. They start serving it. The guests are loving it. It's everything they could want and more. The shrimp, the calamari, the scallops, the paella, the chorizo rice. It is delicious.
Like, oh my God.
Fantastic.
It's delicious.
Right? And yeah, this is where there's that timestamp. 9:20, dinner, 20 minutes late. So, just letting us know.
It's okay. Even if you go to a 5-star restaurant, sometimes the food is a little late because...
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock
20 minutes
somewhere.
isn't crazy.
Yeah, they're on beach time or whatever.
Yeah,
those
if it was
corny-
like, okay, we scheduled dinner for 9 and it's 10:30, yes, get mad.
Yeah. Okay. Talent show time.
All right, so Colin is the MC.
Which must stand for man chest or something, because he was giving away a lot for free right there.
I mean, it's a vibe. It's a beach vibe.
Okay, MC.
So Gabriela and Daisy go first, and they salsa dance.
The Parsifal bombshells.
Kind of salsa dance.
Yeah, kind of. They say performing a sexy salsa. It was a mild salsa, if anything.
I think the fact that they put the guests in made it fun.
It looked like your average drunk bridal party at a wedding.
Yeah, that's fine.
It was not professional dancing, Gabrielle. I'm just going to say.
I don't think she wanted to flex, but she was doing it with Daisy. So
Right, okay.
you want to overshine your boss.
There you go. Smart. Okay, then Marcos comes out spinning plates, which is pretty wild. That was pretty impressive. I was nervous for his head. I was like, please don't crack your head again on this.
And he like tossed it in the air. He caught it. It was great.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool. Then Ashley and Kelsie do like a coyote ugly.
Yeah, it was like a step dance.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting.
The camera zoomed into one of the guests, and they weren't laughing, and they were just like, their faces was just like,
Yeah.
it was a lady.
It was probably my least favorite.
Yeah, it's like do something else, like shake your boobs or something.
Hello. Yeah. Then my favorite, Glenn doing stand up. And here's what I loved about it. First of all, he was taking it very seriously. He was in his cabin earlier, like thinking about jokes, trying to figure out what to do. Then you could tell he was nervous. You could tell he was a little uncomfortable and nervous delivering the joke, which made it all the better.
Because you are the captain.
But still, some captains would eat it up, love it. He was uncomfortable in the spotlight delivering this joke, which was, I want to talk about my wife. She came to the doctor with me, and the doctor told me I could touch myself whenever I feel like it. And my wife said, no, that's not what he said. He said you could have a stroke at any time. So Glenn going for a masturbation joke.
Oh, Glenn.
Yeah. And then he tells the camera afterwards, he's like, I don't have a wife. It's like, okay, but you do masturbate a lot? Like, what?
I mean, I figured because I don't think someone who's married can spend half the year on a yacht.
No, that's a single man's job.
I feel like the wife, if he did have a wife, she would probably be there as something.
Yeah. So then Colin sings like some Parsifal City blues while also roasting the guests.
He was also preparing. He was practicing his guitar.
Oh yeah, he was like tuning up, practicing. Yeah, I like the effort they put in. And then finally, Gary, the lady killer king.
And he pulled Jim, the primary, and he did this striptease all over him.
Yeah, and for some reason, Jim felt the need to strip too. I was like, no, Jim.
I loved it. I think it was, I love when you see like these people come, they have all the money in the world. They just want to have fun. The fact that they're actually having fun and
they're letting loose.
Snobby.
They're not taking
like
themselves
the roses.
seriously. Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was fun.
Did you see what Gary wrote on his chest?
I did, but I didn't take a note. What was it?
So he ripped off his shirt. He finished the striptease. He ripped off his shirt and in like magic marker or whatever, he wrote, "Thanks for a great charter."
Nice.
Which was like so sweet, like to
So
have that
sweet.
little message on his chest.
What's a magic marker?
Magic marker, like a Sharpie almost, but probably not permanent.
Okay.
I think they're called magic markers. I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, like
Look at you. You're such a pen expert.
I don't know the brand, but not I would imagine it wasn't a permanent marker. So just
Okay.
something he could write on.
Not a
him.
Sharpie.
Not a Sharpie. No. Okay. So everyone goes to bed. Kelsie and Ashley, they're discussing the new deckhand. And Ashley's basically like, get someone Gabriela or you, Kelsie, can make out with so I can have Gary.
Oh, Ashley, shut up.
So
If he
thirsty.
wanted to be with you or if he wanted to bang you, he would have banged you already.
Right. And if you are trying to get people to almost distract your competition, like, oh, bring in someone else to get with my competition. It's like that, A, not a fair fight. And two, come on, is that how you want to win your man?
And maybe the someone else is going to be so hot that you would want him.
Right. Oh, touche. Here's the issue I had. This is the worst thing I think she's ever said. She goes, I don't think Gary wants me, but if I put enough pressure on that situation, I'll get what I want. Can you imagine if a guy said that?
Cancelled.
Yeah.
Cancelled.
If a guy said, like, if I put enough pressure on that situation, yeah, I'll be able to fuck him.
Fired and cancelled.
But she gets away. And I'm not saying we should cancel Ashley. I appreciate the confidence. But yeah, it's a lot coming out of someone's mouth to hear that. Like, yeah, I could force them to have sex with me. It's a lot. But anything goes in international waters. I do want someone for Kelsie because I think she deserves a storyline.
And I almost feel like she was vibing Marcos last time.
And I saw on the upcoming previews, they're sitting next to each other again. And it could be one of those things where everyone else is pairing off, so you're kind of just left with this person.
They both are kind of ducks. Like Marcos is very calm, but he works hard. She's very calm, and I'm telling you, she does work hard too.
Yeah.
But a couple of ducks, just get some dawn, clean yourself up, and...
Oh, jeez. So then we had Gary and Colin in their bunks talking. And this is where I go, oh, Gary really is into Daisy. Because he basically says he wants her. And he goes, I'm hoping to find love this season.
He said that.
Yeah. So
Interesting.
You're hoping to find love. There's only a couple options.
That's not the attitude he entered the
No.
sailing season with.
No. So that's where I go, wow, I think he's really into Daisy. I think he really wants
he
the relationship.
maybe.
Yeah. And then we get the next morning. And this is where things start to go a little awry for our friend Kelsie. Okay. Jim wakes up at 6 a.m. The charter guest, Jim. And Kelsie, of course, is up because she's the night watch. And so she snaps into action. She starts entertaining Jim a little bit.
Why did you say that things started going south? She did everything right.
So I do think she did things
And so
right.
does Gary.
Gary and Daisy get into it because
Gary is saying, your girls should have been up there
right.
doing their job because Kelsie, the only deckhand, was being a stew. We are a man down, not you guys. So Gary was she did everything
But I
right.
thought someone, whether it was Daisy or Gary, was like, Kelsie, you should have just woken up Gabriela. Like, instead of you doing that job, you should have woken up.
Yeah, someone did say it, but at the same time, I feel like she did the right job.
I think she did the right thing. It takes 2 minutes to make coffee. You make the coffee, right? I don't know. I've never worked on a boat or in this sort of industry, but I would imagine you take care of the guest first. If the
Yes.
guest asks for a coffee, you don't go, sorry, I can't get you a coffee. I got to do this. You go, sure,
Yes.
right away.
And
You want
also,
cream
it
or
was
sugar?
the morning. There was nothing crazy going on. Her stepping away and grabbing a coffee for Jim
Yeah.
was okay. But I feel like she thought, oh, I'm going to grab the coffee. Hopefully the girls are waking up. By the time other people come up, they'll be taking care of it. But it didn't.
Yeah. And Gary is under some added pressure now because he's a man down. Tom is on his team, and now Tom's not there. So it's really Kelsie is picking up the slack. Gary's picking up the slack. So he's stressed. And the girls weren't supposed to wake up until 7, which they didn't. And so it's really not that it's Jim's fault, but Jim getting up at 6 in the morning kind of threw a wrench into things because he got up before the stews were supposed to be up. So he's just sitting there. And yeah, Kelsie snapped into action. Yeah, she didn't do anything wrong, but she's got a little heat. She got some unnecessary heat, I think.
Yes, but all good.
It's all good. Again, it's tension between Gary and Daisy. I think they just need to bang it out.
Oh yeah.
And all will be well. But it was a decent episode. It was probably my least favorite episode of the season.
Well,
so
besides Tom getting fired,
Besides
nothing
Tom.
really happened.
But the previews looked wild.
Oh yes.
Someone I think it was Gabrielle.
Gabriela.
I think it was Gabriella face planted out of their bunk. So it looks like it's about to get real
I don't know
good.
if it was because she was drunk or because they were sailing.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. But either way.
Either way, yeah.
Either way, it looks pretty wild.
We also saw some Gabriela and Marcos. Something's gonna go down there, and not in a good way.
Oh, okay.
He told her to fuck off.
Oh, yeah. You're right. I saw that too. All right. Woo. Stay tuned, guys. Buckle up. It's going to get wild. Well,
Can you buckle up on a boat?
Yes.
To put your life vest on.
Put your life vests on. That's right. All right. Also, make sure you're following us on Instagram at Married to Reality Pod. It's a good time over there. Memes, messages, memories. At Married to Reality Pod. Also, make sure you're following the podcast wherever you're listening. So easy to do. Look down, smash that follow button.
Guys, smash it like it's as hot as Glenn's joke.
That's pretty hot. Okay. And thank you again for the reviews. If you haven't left one, please do. I know we ask every time, but it means the world to us. So if you could take a couple seconds, rate, review the podcast, we'd be forever grateful. So thank you in advance. Thank you. All right.
And thank you.
All right. I have said it all. Have you
Said it all.
All right. That means we will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.